Friends in relationships often find that their closest confidants are not their partners but their best friends of the opposite sex. One day, I stumbled upon a message from her male best friend. It read, "Just have fun with him, don't take it seriously." When I finally decided to walk away, she broke down, asking why I had betrayed our love. I chuckled and replied, "I was just having fun with you, don't take it seriously." On Lila Chen's birthday, she donned a revealing outfit but refused to let me accompany her to the bar. I caught a glimpse of her bare back and gently asked, "Is Rika Tanaka going to be there again?" Lila paused while applying her lipstick, her voice growing impatient. "Can you stop fixating on Riku? I've told you, we're just friends." She knew I had issues with Riku but never considered her own behavior, always assuming I was overreacting. I stayed silent, and Lila seemed to realize her tone was off, softening her voice. "Stop overthinking. I'm not taking you because of my friends. Didn't you say you don't like them? I'll be back before midnight, and then we can celebrate just the two of us. Wait for me at home." She leaned in to kiss my ear and left with her bag. Her dress was so thin that it would reveal too much when she bent over. I had brought it up before, but it always ended in an argument. Lila would insist that only insecure men cared about how women dressed, while real men focused on protecting their girlfriends. But how could I protect her? Every time she went out with her questionable friends, she claimed it was inconvenient for me to tag along since they didn't know me well. This time, I chose to remain silent. When Lila hesitated at the door and turned to face me, she said, "Babe, why don't you care about me anymore?" "Oh, it's my birthday, it would be rude not to invite them. I promise I'll hang out with them less in the future." I didn't respond, just smiled. She didn't realize that not only would I not care this time, but I wouldn't care about her in the future either. Lila and I once shared beautiful memories. During my internship, I often forgot to eat due to my workload. She would always bring me lunch, claiming she made it herself. Then she would smile and watch me eat before insisting we go get her favorite ice cream. On those hot summer nights, she would complain about being tired after just a few steps, asking me to carry her. Lila smelled delightful and felt light in my arms. We would stroll to get her favorite ice cream, then return to the office before heading home. I cherished those simple moments, but Lila often complained that I wasn't romantic enough and didn't know how to make her happy. To please her, I frequently searched for date ideas online, trying to come up with ways to make her smile. Looking back, it seemed the internet taught men how to care for their girlfriends, but not how women should love men. Eventually, I discovered Lila was too close with her childhood friend Riku, and I brought it up a few times. At first, she explained patiently, but soon her patience wore thin. She insisted it was normal for friends of the opposite sex to be close and that Riku was just her best friend, with nothing more to it. After many arguments, I chose to end things peacefully. 3 years later, I ran into Lila again at work. She was at the client company, and not only did she help me achieve several business goals, but she also frequently reminisced about the past, bringing me lunch to ensure I ate. In front of everyone, she passionately declared her love for me, saying she regretted losing me and had been single, waiting for me all these years. Her sincerity, amidst the cheers of my colleagues, led me to drink too much and rekindle our relationship. Everyone said Lila loved me deeply and that women like her were rare, so I should cherish her. But if she truly loved me, how could she be so ambiguous with another man? That night, I must have been out of my mind to believe that people could change. I lit a cigarette, changed my clothes, and went out. By 7 or 8 in the evening, the city was alive with lights and people. I bought some beer and barbecue, sat by the roadside, and watched in silence. Then I bought a ticket for a movie I had always wanted to see. We had planned to watch it together before its release, but now it was almost out of theaters, and we still hadn't seen it. She had too many friends in her circle. Whenever I asked if we could set a date to see it, she would blink her innocent eyes and coyly say, "Sorry, I've already made plans with friends." She might have thought it was cute, but after so many times, all I could do was smile bitterly. Thankfully, I had come to terms with it. Without Lila at the movie and her constant chatter, I could fully immerse myself in the film. After the movie ended, I turned my head and saw 2 people passionately kissing in the central square. The crowd cheered them on. After a long kiss, the man turned around, wiped his lips, and smirked. "Who said I couldn't handle it? We've kissed, now let's go back and continue the fun." It was Riku. I stopped in my tracks and saw the woman in his arms, her face flushed. As expected, it was Lila. Through the crowd, Lila spotted me and broke free from Riku, rushing toward me. Unfortunately, I didn't wait for her. When Lila returned home, I had already packed most of my belongings. The thought of breaking up with her wasn't new, I was just waiting for the right moment, a moment to be completely heartbroken. Now that the moment had arrived, she was in a panic, rushing to hug me. "Ethan, what are you doing?" "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I just drank too much today, and it was just a dare. They told me to kiss Riku outside. I thought it might be the last time I saw him, so I didn't refuse. I won't do it again." She reached for my suitcase, but I gently pushed her away. All her explanations were pointless. If there was nothing between them, why would their friends encourage them to kiss? The Chen and Tanaka families were the wealthiest in their circle. If there were no signs, how could they dare? I intended to break up peacefully. But hearing her words, I couldn't help but laugh coldly. She knew why I wanted to leave, she knew where she was wrong. But why had she previously made excuses so confidently? Are you apologizing for betraying my trust or because you got caught? Lila's face stiffened, seemingly hurt by my words. Her long eyelashes blinked, and tears quickly followed. Seeing that I wasn't comforting her as before, she paused and softly apologized, saying it was just an accident. She didn't expect Riku to kiss her. I didn't believe her, especially when I saw her phone lighting up on the table. I caught a glimpse of the message. Riku was still her top pin contact despite her claiming she had removed him. Clearly, another lie. The message read, "Was he really mad about just a dare kiss? Poor and petty, why do you like someone like that? Just have fun, don't take it seriously." Lila saw it too. She awkwardly flipped her phone face down, then clung to me again, reaching out for a hug. She used to act sweetly like this, but now, as she got close, I smelled smoke mixed with her perfume. I didn't know if she had been smoking behind my back or if it was Riku's scent. Either way, it disgusted me. A woman who lied habitually. Seeing my cold gaze, Lila was stunned and nervously snuggled against me. "Babe, I'm a bit drunk today, let's sleep first and talk about it tomorrow, okay? They say couples fight at the head of the bed and make up at the foot, let's do as you say tonight, okay?" I began to reflect. Maybe in the past, I had been too accommodating, giving her the illusion that everything could just blow over. But why should she think I would always be there for her? So, I smiled. "Do as I say." "Fine, then let's break up." Lila didn't expect that answer. She was stunned, then angry. She was always like this, no matter how big the mistake. If I didn't mention it, she'd act innocent. If I did, she'd get defensive, making it seem like my fault. She turned away, looking impatient. "Ethan, you're so annoying. I told you Riku was just a friend. We've been friends since elementary school. Should I cut off all friendships just because I'm dating you?" Seeing my lack of reaction, she complained recklessly, "You really have no heart, go ahead, leave and never come back. And leave everything I bought you." Lila came from a wealthy family and always looked down on my modest clothes. She insisted I dress in suits and wear expensive watches according to her taste. I was just an ordinary office worker, those things were only useful when I was with her. So, I had already left everything in the bedroom, taking none of it. Before leaving, Lila's eyes were red, looking like I had wronged her. "Ethan, I agree you need to cool down, but I absolutely don't agree to break up." I ignored her, blocked her, and walked out. But Lila didn't give up. She came to my office every day. Being from the client company, my colleagues treated her with respect, some even praised her in front of me, advising me not to take her for granted. Faced with such words, Lila always appeared shy. No matter how I warned her, she turned a deaf ear. After a few times, I stopped holding back and retorted directly. "Yes, although I kissed another man behind my boyfriend's back, I'm still a good girl. Right, Lila?" Lila's face turned red with anger, and she threw a tantrum, cursing me. I just ignored her, and the next day I applied to have someone else handle her account. No matter how many messages she sent, I didn't reply. Until one day, Riku came to see me personally. It's quite funny. Ever since the breakup, Lila had been posting ambiguous messages, sad music, and emo captions on her social media, fully portraying the role of a heartbroken lover. This stirred Riku to feel sorry for her and come to accuse me, the so-called unforgivable jerk. As soon as I accepted his friend request, Riku sent a long message filled with condescension. "Ethan, who do you think you are? A poor boy with an average background. If it weren't for Lila liking you, we wouldn't even look at you. You and we are from two different worlds. You're just a social climber. Why do you have so many demands? Let me be blunt, we can't stand people like you. So yes, we won't allow you to integrate into our circle." What did you think dating Lila would let you climb the social ladder? I didn't reply. Instead, I took a screenshot and sent it to Lila with a note, "Control your dog." Lila called me almost immediately. I didn't answer, so she kept calling. I started to regret not blocking her phone number when I blocked her on social media a few days ago, but Lila was persistent. After I blocked one number, she used another phone to call again. When I finally picked up, she started talking nonstop. "Ethan, you finally agreed to talk to me. I've thought a lot these past few days. I really do love you. For you, I can step out of this circle. Can we get back together? You still have feelings for me, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't care about Riku's provocation. Give me another chance." I took a deep breath, shocked by her overflowing confidence. After a long pause, I asked, "Do you have any thoughts about Riku's words? He was just being a friend, not wanting to see me sad. I'll introduce you to him later to clear up the misunderstanding." I fell silent. I was deeply impressed by her reasoning. Why did she think I could clear up the misunderstanding with Riku? In other words, if an introduction could solve the problem, why didn't she do it earlier? It was nothing but self-deception. I sneered and slowly spoke. Lila, have you ever thought about what our future would look like if we got married? There was silence on the other end of the line. I didn't rush her, just waited quietly. She seemed to have never realized that what made me determined to leave was not only her closeness with Riku but also the most important factor, the incompatibility of our circles. We were fundamentally incompatible, and I was always looking for a serious relationship leading to marriage. Lila seemed to make a great effort before sighing lightly. Ethan, I really do love you and want to marry you, but you know my family would never agree. I nodded, speaking with sarcasm. So you should realize that this is your problem, not mine. Don't call me again. After I had a final conversation with Lila, I set my phone to whitelist only, blocking all unknown numbers. I didn't realize how far Riku would go for Lila until I received a notice of termination from my company. He had used his family's influence to pressure the company into firing me. On my last day, my boss took me out for a drink. Ethan, I really had high hopes for you. According to the plan, I was going to promote you next year. I didn't expect this to happen. You probably can't stay in the city anymore. Since we're from the same hometown, I'll introduce you to someone there. Give it a try. I had already had enough of the demanding work culture in the big city, and with a severance package of N+3, I tried to find some humor in the situation, relieved that at least my hair was safe. I packed my belongings and bought a train ticket back to my hometown. I never expected Lila to follow me to the train station. Just as I arrived at the station square, she stopped me, grabbing my sleeve with a desperate tone. Ethan, I love you. Please don't go. Stay with me. I'm willing to give up everything for you. I brought my ID and household registration. We can get married today. She looked at me expectantly, trying to hold onto my arm, but I pried her fingers off one by one. I said, Lila, even if you want to marry me now, I don't want to marry you. I pushed her away and quickly walked off with my suitcase. She stood there, bewildered, as if she had heard something unbelievable. It's laughable, she thought I would always be waiting for her no matter what. Fortunately, the train station uses ID card entry, so I didn't have to endure the scrutiny of a ticket inspector. But I didn't expect someone to record a video of Lila and me outside the train station. Her attractive looks and the image of a lovesick rich girl quickly made her an internet sensation. She took advantage of the situation to start an account sharing stories about our past and gaining a large following. Meanwhile, I was portrayed as the heartless jerk. Although Lila tried to clarify, she always did so ambiguously, saying it was all her fault but never specifying why. In the end, netizens thought she was just being a lovesick fool, still defending the jerk who hurt her. As the video spread, my life back home became increasingly difficult. Strangers would often approach me, asking if I was the infamous jerk ex-boyfriend everyone was looking for. I performed a live meltdown for them. Yes, it's me. She approached me because her male best friend was terminally ill and needed a liver transplant. She wanted me to donate my liver to her childhood friend. When I refused, I fled back to the city. Take my advice, stay away from anyone with the last name Chen or Tanaka, or you'll end up miserable. Beware, you might be next. What if she decides you're a match and wants your liver? I fought rumors with rumors. Later, Lila's comment section became increasingly strange, with supporters of both her and me splitting evenly. Gradually, she stopped updating her account, and the video's popularity waned. Thanks to my former boss's recommendation, I connected with a local leader and found a well-paying job back home. At a class reunion, I even ran into my first love. Originally, most of my classmates had lost touch, but a childhood friend insisted on organizing a gathering when they heard I was back. They invited everyone they could reach, including Mia. Mia was sweet and cute, yet she carried a gentle and graceful demeanor. Even in school uniforms, she always looked better than the others, her smile revealing adorable dimples. She had a warm personality too. Back then, I was mischievous and often teased her, making her glare at me angrily, warning that she wouldn't talk to me next time. But she always did. During high school, with its heavy workload, Mia was the only person I saw as a beacon of hope. Just thinking of her made me feel like I could keep going. I had once hoped to attend the same university as Mia. Unexpectedly, she changed her plans and stayed local, and we gradually lost contact. My high school crush was pure and beautiful. Back then, I didn't even think about being the only one with Mia. After all, she was the school's goddess, the unreachable moon admired by many. For us, she was the bright moon out of reach but still a joy to behold. But now, at the dinner table, Mia's eyes reddened amidst everyone's teasing. Mia, we couldn't get you to come out before, but you came when Ethan returned. Is our school belle a teacher now? Still the goddess, huh? Wonder which guy is lucky enough to marry her. Mia used to tutor Ethan even though he had a girlfriend, right? I shook my head and opened a bottle of beer for him. Stop talking nonsense. We broke up a while ago. Mia's eyes lit up instantly. She hesitated, looking at me and then at the others. When I went to the restroom, she stopped me. I'm single too. Ethan, they weren't wrong. I did like you in high school. I was stunned. I didn't know if it was because of her confession or her straightforwardness. Then, I instinctively asked, and now? Now, I still do. Mia looked up at me, her fair cheeks glowing under the hallway lights, her eyes gentle and moist. That day, amidst our classmates' exclamations, we got together. But I never expected Lila to be so obsessed, following me from the city. She came with our photos, claiming I had moved on too quickly, accusing Mia of being a homewrecker. She even said I was a gold digger who used Mia as a sugar mama. Some of her crazy fans started attacking us, even sending letters to Mia's school demanding her dismissal for her supposed misconduct. Rumors and slander can be incredibly damaging, especially in professions that value reputation highly. This time, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to fight back. In response to the online rumors, I put together a complete PowerPoint presentation. If people wanted to gossip, I was going to give them everything. Starting with her intimate behavior with Rika during our relationship to their public kiss during a dare, and then Rika's provocation and pressure on my company to fire me. As for Lila's claim that I used her money to support another woman, I provided detailed transaction records. One by one, those months and years of me scrimping and saving just to not owe her, just to feel worthy of standing by her side were laid bare. All the money I had saved was spent on her. She thought she was buying things for me, but in reality, I couldn't refuse her so-called generosity. Since she first gave me expensive gifts, I developed a habit of keeping track. I would research the prices of those luxury items, and those numbers weighed heavily on my mind. To repay this burden, I pushed myself to buy equivalent gifts for her. Although to her, those gifts were insignificant, she even complained to Rika that my gifts were old-fashioned and not to her liking. Meanwhile, Riku, under the guise of a best friend, was undermining me while giving Lila even more expensive gifts, claiming that friends are the ones who truly love her. Lila was brainwashed by him, constantly feeling that I wasn't good enough. During our relationship, I spent most of my money on her, living frugally myself, but she felt it was only right. Now, after the breakup, realizing my worth, she wanted to use public opinion to force me back. I don't know who gave her the bad idea, but I definitely wasn't going back. Public opinion online flipped in an instant. Lila and Riku's identities were exposed, causing a drop in their family's stock values. Lila had no choice but to post a tearful apology video. She repeatedly said she was sorry, claiming she didn't know she had caused me so much trouble and was unaware of Riku's insults. She said she was just too in love with me to accept losing me. But netizens weren't fools. Under her new apology video, they tagged Riku in every comment. Yeah, sure, such deep love that you kissed the Tanaka family's eldest behind his back. Poor boys have no right to love, huh? While stringing him along, you played dares with the Tanaka family's eldest, no complaints, right? Just a fling, huh? Why chase after him so relentlessly? Such comments became more frequent, forcing Rika to also release an apology video. His face was bruised, seemingly having been reprimanded by his family. Riku's biggest mistake was looking down on and mocking the grassroots while benefiting from them. In the end, I gained a wave of followers on the platform due to the incident. Mia, disheartened by her school's attitude over the rumors, quit her job and tried her hand at being a content creator from home. Unlike Lila's constant sob stories, she simply recorded couple vlogs. Sometimes it was us holding hands at the supermarket, sometimes her cooking for me and making sure I ate. Her fresh and simple style surprisingly attracted a lot of fans. One day, Mia and I recorded a quick Q&A session. However, Lila started leaving random comments. Mia specifically highlighted her comment for everyone to see. It read, "I used to make you these lunchboxes every day, Ethan. Don't you remember? You're just repeating our past. Isn't that just missing me? What bad luck." I hurried to clarify. That's not true. I've known for a long time that Lila can't cook. She used to disguise takeout as homemade. Who uses plastic containers for homemade steamed eggs? I just pretended not to know during the relationship. Not to mention other things. I'm pretty boring myself, what some girls would call dull, unromantic. The dates I understood were just meals, movies, and shopping, making my mundane life better with you in it. But after the video was posted, Lila didn't stop. She kept comparing herself to Mia, from makeup to behavior, trying to prove that Mia was just her replacement. So Mia and I revisited old places, wore our school uniforms, and went to our high school. In the video, she sat on a desk, turning to look at me. I fell for you 3 times, once in high school, once now, and once in every future moment. Lila finally deactivated her account and stopped commenting, because netizens found out that Mia had been single all these years. She was clean, beautiful, and completely different from Lila. Also, at the end of the video, I pulled out a ring and knelt on one knee. "Miss Mia, will you marry me? The diamond might not be big now, but I promise to give you all my love." The engagement preparations went smoothly. Our parents met and were very satisfied with each other. Mia's parents were both teachers, strict but with good values, while my parents both had stable jobs, not wealthy but never lacking. No one expected that such a dignified engagement party would be disrupted by several luxury cars. Riku brought Lila, barging directly into the hotel. He seemed used to being arrogant. When the hotel staff tried to stop him, he threw a stack of money at their faces. What rules? Just not enough money, right? Is this enough? Get lost. Lila ignored the commotion, her eyes fixated on me as she walked closer. They seemed well prepared. She was even wearing a wedding dress more luxurious than Mia's gown. I couldn't help but laugh out of sheer anger, instinctively shielding Mia behind me and coldly questioning them. This is my engagement party. If you've had enough fun, leave now. Lila's tears immediately started falling, leaving 2 white streaks on her perfectly made-up face. She said, I know, Ethan. I'm here to win you back. I don't mind if you think of me as her substitute. I'm willing to do anything for you. Come with me. I really can't live without you. Ethan, I'm pregnant with your child. Everyone's expression changed upon hearing this. Even Riku, who had been messing with the staff, looked at her in surprise. No one expected her to play this trump card. I could feel Mia stiffening behind me, gripping my hand tighter. I looked at Lila and laughed coldly. Lila, do you think I'm an idiot? I've wanted to break up with you for a long time, so it's been a while since we've been together. And if we count back, the timing doesn't add up. If you insist on this lie, I'll take you to the hospital right now. Miss Chen, my heart belongs to my fiancé. Lila's face turned pale. She looked like she might collapse, biting her lip until it bled. Even as she fell to the ground, she looked at me with resentment, asking, You say your heart belongs to her, what am I to you then? What about our beautiful memories together? I wrapped my arm around Mia's waist, not sparing a glance at Lila. Didn't the Tanaka family's eldest say it? Just a fling. Why are you taking it so seriously? If you insist on defining our relationship, like Riku, just a friend I can kiss. Lila seemed unable to hear anything. She laughed and cried, desperately crawling towards me, her long dress tripping her, grabbing at my suit pants. Don't leave. Even as a friend. Ethan, don't leave. I turned to look at the furious Riku, who glared at me with hatred, but I found it laughable. Why blame me instead of pulling away the crazed Lila? A long time ago, they told me that if they truly wanted to be together, I wouldn't have mattered, it wouldn't have dragged on until now. Exactly, now that I'm out of the picture, why aren't they together? I pulled my pants free and responded one last time. Lila, I did like you, but that's in the past. That ended when you repeatedly went to bars and messed around with your shady friends. I held Mia's hand and walked away without looking back. I completely ignored the chaos behind us. Later, I learned that on the day of the engagement party, Mia had arranged for her cousin to film the event, planning to edit the footage and share it online to spread the joy with everyone. However, Lila's dramatic antics enraged her cousin, who then uploaded the unedited version online, and it quickly went viral. The Chen and Tanaka families once again found themselves under public scrutiny due to their heirs. To minimize the damage, the Tanaka family brought in an illegitimate child from outside and announced him as the new heir. The Chen family took a simpler approach. Since Lila was pregnant, they forcibly married her to Riku and launched a series of PR measures. Unfortunately, the public wasn't buying it. What started as a private matter turned into a public spectacle, with the Chen family's PR department's condescending attitude angering people further, leading to widespread boycotts. The next time I saw news about them was on a legal show. Riku had beaten Lila, leading to her death. Both grew up as the pride of their families, close but with fiery tempers. Lila was indeed pregnant, but the child wasn't mine. After our breakup, Lila was in such pain that Riku took her out drinking, leading to a one-night stand. Lila believed the man that night was me, and Riku, to save face, didn't correct her. When she crashed our engagement and revealed her pregnancy, Riku couldn't hide the truth any longer. He had always thought that he and Lila would marry eventually, allowing them to continue their separate lives while maintaining appearances. But Lila truly fell in love with me, which irked Riku. He bad-mouthed me to her and took advantage of her vulnerability. When Lila found out the true paternity of the child, she broke down and threatened to sue Riku. Her family, however, forced her to marry him. The Tanaka family couldn't let their bloodline be disgraced, so they quickly got them married. But Lila blamed Riku for ruining our relationship, and Riku resented her lack of appreciation. Their marriage quickly deteriorated, with Riku indulging in hedonism and eventually beating Lila during a drunken argument, causing her to miscarry. By the time he sobered up and took her to the hospital, it was too late. The child was gone, and Lila, from excessive blood loss, was too. Riku went to prison, and when he was released, the Tanaka family had no place for him, reducing him to the commoner he despised. With this scandal, the Chen and Tanaka families were beyond saving. Their company's stock prices plummeted, but the Tanaka family's illegitimate child managed to turn things around, proactively seeking cooperation with us. He offered a very generous deal and even helped me climb the corporate ladder, securing 3 promotions. My salary tripled, and I opened a studio in my hometown. Mia, the boss lady, spent most of her time at the studio recording videos while working. Years later, our business expanded, becoming a well-known local enterprise. As a couple, we became famous entrepreneurs. During a speech as outstanding alumni, Mia leaned on my shoulder and whispered, "That year, I stood under the cherry blossom tree thinking if you turned around, I would confess my love. But fortunately, those in love won't miss each other. I have good news for you, Ethan. You're going to be a father." Spring was coming again, and our happiness continued. Lila's epilogue: the first time I saw Ethan, I liked him. He had a quality not found in our social circle. Because of this, I fell for him, even trying to learn how to cook for him. Of course, I failed. So, I usually had the housekeeper cook or order takeout, pretending it was my own work. Later, I learned that Ethan had known all along but never exposed me. Such a good Ethan, and I missed him. I gradually forgot why I liked him, focusing only on comparing him to my circle, thinking he wasn't as wealthy or interesting as my friends. When he decided to leave, I finally woke up. But it seemed too late. Ethan left resolutely. No matter how I begged him, he never looked back. I looked at my empty home, feeling a cold loneliness. Rika kept messaging to comfort me, but I angrily told him to stop contacting me. He asked if I was willing to abandon years of friendship for a man. I hesitated and asked him for advice again. Riku was somewhat of a player. I knew we would eventually marry, but I didn't like him. After all, having experienced Ethan's wholehearted love, who would choose to be just another option? But I also had to admit that I enjoyed being adored by 2 men. I tried many ways to win Ethan back. I was ready to give up everything and marry him, started an account to document our love, even considered cutting ties with Riku. The things I told Ethan were sincere. If he was willing to come back, I would leave this circle and never associate with Riku and the others, focusing solely on him. I believed in Ethan's resilience. He could build a future for us. For that future, I was willing to lose my dignity, trying again and again to get close to him, even crashing his wedding. That wedding dress I wore was chosen with all my hopes for marriage, only to be torn apart that day. The child in my belly was Riku's. I hated him for betraying my trust and hated myself even more for not listening to Ethan. When I found out I was pregnant, I was overjoyed, thinking it would bring us back together, only to realize it was a fruit of judgment. Even if unwillingly, the Chen family gave up on me. In our circle, all benefits come at a price, and we, the men and women, have to marry and provide the next bargaining chip. Now pregnant, I was no longer valuable. Riku went out with other women. I didn't care, but I couldn't accept being confined to the Tanaka family, unable even to see Ethan from afar. I laughed and cried, unable to accept this life, yelling at Riku, who drank daily. If it weren't for you, if I had cut ties with you decisively, left this circle completely, Ethan would have married me. I would be the one standing beside him, looking so happy. Rika seemed enraged by my words. Before losing consciousness, I saw on my phone their interview. Mia nestled in his arms, glowing with happiness. Originally, this happiness could have been mine. It should have been me. I closed my eyes in resentment, hoping to meet him again in another life. In the industry, everyone knows how much I love Mia. The day she ascended to stardom, she shared a kiss with a male co-star in front of everyone. She declared, "Director Ethan Lee, I'm not very close to him outside of work, so please don't link unrelated individuals to me, thank you." As she requested, I stepped back from her life. Later, she came to me with tear-filled eyes, pleading for my forgiveness. I chuckled. Wasn't breaking up what you wanted? Now you've lost your fame and fortune, but you've gained love. The spotlight illuminated the award stage. A woman in a flowing white gown approached with a radiant smile. I am incredibly grateful to someone who has supported me every step of the way to this moment. I couldn't hide my joy. The person on stage is my partner. Over the past 3 years, I have nurtured her from an unknown actress to a household name and a movie star. Loving someone is like nurturing a flower. I provided her with the best care, and she has blossomed into my proudest achievement. The only thing that troubles me is that my partner turned down my public proposal, citing her career. Listening to her speech, is she finally going to reveal our relationship today? He is my mentor, my friend, and someone essential to my growth. He is Jake. My smile faltered as I watched my movie star partner holding the trophy, professing her love for another actor with deep affection. Someone inquired, "Miss Mia, it is said that you have always relied on the support of director Ethan Lee. Is there any truth to the rumors about your close relationship?" She wore an innocent smile and firmly replied, "Director Ethan Lee, I'm not very familiar with him outside of work, so please don't associate unrelated people with me, thank you." 3 years of careful nurturing and companionship dismissed by a single casual sentence from her lips. My mind was clouded as I groggily returned home. After sitting alone for a long time, I eventually fell asleep. The next day, I woke up to an avalanche of messages on my phone. The sheer volume caused it to lag. Although Mia never publicly acknowledged our relationship, I never concealed it from my friends in the industry. Now, following this incident, they all sent their condolences. I rubbed my still red eyes and replied to each one, "Don't worry, I'm fine." I declined my friend's suggestion to blacklist Mia, stating that we have nothing to do with each other anymore. If we cross paths in the future, we would handle things professionally. After responding to the messages, I splashed cool water on my face and took a deep breath. I, Ethan, have always been able to pick up and let go, love fiercely and move on ruthlessly. When I first laid eyes on Mia, I disregarded my friend's advice and insisted on mentoring her. Today, I accept what has transpired. It's merely a stumble. After falling, I can rise, dust myself off, and keep moving forward. I deleted Mia from my contacts and blocked all her communication channels. Since yesterday, she hasn't sent me a single message. Of course, I don't need her to. After coordinating the audition schedule at the film studio with my assistant, I tidied up and left. The studio was bustling, with some casting curious glances, having heard the rumors. I ignored them all and quickly arrived on set. After graduating, I became a director. With my talent and family connections, I swiftly gained recognition as a director whose films consistently succeeded. My assistant approached me with her phone, showing me a new post. Mia's official account announced, "Thank you all for your concern. Even though Rose and City of Shadows are filming simultaneously, I will work hard on both. This is my first collaboration with Jake since our announcement, please support us." At the end of the post, she tagged the official accounts of both productions. My assistant wore a subtle expression. Rose is a project Mia just accepted. And City of Shadows is the film I'm currently directing. For the past 3 years, without exception, Mia has always been my leading actress. Her post implies that she still believes I'll allow her to continue as the lead in City of Shadows. I shrugged and told my assistant it doesn't matter. Let her post whatever she wants. We'll choose our actors and shoot our film. Honestly, I'm curious. Why does Mia think that after what she said at the award ceremony yesterday, I would still treat her as I did before? Do I look like a fool who enjoys being deceived? The audition for the female lead in Mia's social media post were released one after another, quickly attracting a swarm of sharp-eyed journalists. While I stepped outside for some fresh air, cameras were thrust in my face. Miss Mia has publicly announced that she will be the female lead in City of Shadows. Why is the audition still ongoing? If the female lead is already decided, isn't continuing the audition a waste of everyone's time? The intentionally provocative questions caused the auditioning actors to hesitate. I stopped, looked coldly at the reporter, and asked, "Do you know who I am?" He instinctively took a step back and lowered his voice. "Is that even a question, Director Ethan? Then let me ask you, what is this place?" "Well, this is." He realized the implication and lowered his head. I smiled, looking at the eager team of reporters ready to pounce, and said loudly, "I am the director. This is my crew, my territory. I make the decisions. Everything is done according to my rules. Are you trying to teach me how to do my job?" I added pointedly, "If you have nothing to do, go home and rest. Stop trying to stir up big news." When I returned to the crew and checked my phone, a social media post popped up. "Jake, spending time with the one you love is a joy. Today, I hope Mia spends more time with me, so please don't disturb her with irrelevant people and things." The attached photo showed Mia smiling as she fed a grape to Jake's mouth. I was speechless. They clearly understood how to leverage this hot topic. While I was the one being disturbed, they acted like innocent victims stirring up gossip. What a nauseating bunch. The trending topic continued to grow, and everyone wanted to know who the female lead of my new movie would be. That night, Mia started a live stream. She happily interacted with her fans at first, but midway through, she frowned when someone asked in the comments, "Mia, aren't you going to be the female lead in City of Shadows? Why are the auditions still ongoing?" Her eyes narrowed slightly as she smiled and said, "The normal process has to be completed. Ethan told me." She stopped mid-sentence as if realizing something, then closed her mouth, acting as if she had to keep a secret. Mia's hesitant demeanor excited the audience, convincing them that my audition was merely a formality. The audition remained unaffected by them. Whenever someone nosy asked, I would close my black notebook and reply with a half smile, "Why don't you take the director's seat and make the decisions?" I didn't respond directly, but Mia took my silence as consent, becoming more confident and frequently appearing in public with Jake. First, they were spotted together at the airport, then on a food street in Sanya. In paparazzi photos, the two of them walked on the golden beach in swimwear, smiling at each other under the sunlight. Fans were thrilled, calling them a once-in-a-lifetime perfect couple. In 2 days, Mia and Jake capitalized on the attention, receiving numerous endorsements and scripts. My audition lasted 3 days. At this critical moment, I chose an unexpected, completely unknown girl as the actress. On the 3rd day, as I looked at the girl with sparkling eyes behind the curtain, her face lightly flushed like the first rays of dawn, I immediately decided that she would be the female lead in City of Shadows. After 3 days of holding back, my assistant couldn't wait to post on social media. Welcome the lead actress to the City of Shadows family. Work starts tomorrow. At Lily. The audience, who had been eagerly waiting, rushed to see the post and were stunned when they saw who was tagged. They started discussing, "It's not Mia. Who is this? Do you know her?" Feeling deceived, they flooded Mia's social media, demanding an explanation. Soon, she went live again. With red-rimmed eyes, Mia sincerely apologized to the camera. "I'm sorry for disappointing everyone. I understand Ethan's choice if he thinks I'm not good enough. I just hope he isn't still angry." Jake gently patted her shoulder, sighing after she spoke, looking utterly aggrieved. Everything was implied without being said. On one side was a movie star, and on the other, an unknown girl who had only played extras before. The audience, thinking they understood the truth, became furious. "Stop being angry. Was Mia wronged by the director's backdoor dealings? This is so unfair." My assistant, sitting on a wooden stool on the set, turned green with anger and said, "We were too busy with the auditions to respond, and now they're stirring up trouble and playing the victim. They really have no shame." Seeing him rolling up his sleeves, ready to fight back, I couldn't help but laugh. This only made him angrier. "You're laughing? You should have crushed them 3 days ago." I spread my hands. "This is free publicity. Why turn it down? If we missed this, we'd have to spend our own money on promotion later." Putting aside other factors, I'm still grateful for the drama they caused. City of Shadows hasn't even started filming yet, but it's already widely known. Anyone with a phone knows about the show. All right, you're the director. Can I hit back at them now?" My assistant waved his phone in front of me. I nodded. His eyes lit up. The next second, he started yelling again. "Ah, who posted before me? Let me see. Isabel? Isn't that Sophia?" At his words, everyone looked at the girl in the corner. She innocently looked up and blinked. "Did we have a rule against posting on social media?" The assistant was speechless. "No." I watched them with a smile and pulled out my phone to check social media. Lily, the lead actress I selected, might look soft, but she's quite the fighter. In just a few minutes, she had already posted 18 updates. "Hello, Senior Mia. Didn't you say our director had nothing to do with you? If it's not related, why mention Ethan? Who are you anyway? When did the director ever say he was going to cast you in his new film? What obligation does he have to choose you? Is the director your daddy?" Each post tagged Mia and provided evidence. The fans went quiet and retreated. This girl is fierce, really putting her in her place. 10 minutes passed with no response from Mia or Jake. I was engrossed, shaking my head in disbelief. It's strange why I ever liked someone like that. A voice came from beside me. What's strange about it? Even ancient heroes struggled to resist beautiful women. I realized Lily was still nearby. She smiled. Although I don't think she's a beauty, maybe director Ethan just had a moment of weakness. I twitched slightly and reminded her, "I'm your boss." So. Keep talking and I'll dock your pay." "Fine, you win." Just then, an unknown call came to my phone. I raised an eyebrow. This number was private, known to few. It could only be. I answered the call, and there was silence on the other end. "Wrong number. If you don't speak, I'm hanging up." The other person panicked, and a familiar voice spoke. "Ethan, do we have to do this?" Sure enough, it was Mia. "What way?" She hesitated, then softened her tone, sounding like she used to when we were together. "Even if we can't be together, can't we at least be friends?" I couldn't help but laugh. "Be friends? What kind of relationship do we have now? What do you mean even if we can't be together? You make it sound like I was your fool, always failing to win you over, so now I'm angry seeing you with someone else. Please, this is betrayal, Mia. If you want to continue enjoying the benefits I used to provide, just say so. Do you think playing the role of a benevolent person is clever? Mia, let me be clear, remember this, I'm openly threatening you now. The reason I haven't publicly destroyed you is not because I'm magnanimous, but because I want to make your downfall more spectacular. Got it? If so, get ready." Mia's voice turned sharp. "Let me tell you, Jake is the son of the president of the League Group. You can't beat him." Before I could reply, a soft female voice beside me spoke gently. "Brother, are you still on the phone? I've been waiting for you." There was a brief silence on the other end, followed by an explosion. "Who's there with you?" "Ethan, you betrayed me." I rubbed my ear, speechless, and hung up. When she called back, I blocked the number. After finishing all these actions, I looked at Lily. "Nice acting. You really have a knack for this." Lily smiled. "Of course." I shook my head in resignation. Just as I was about to leave, I remembered something. Jake is the son of the president of the League Group. How come I didn't know this? Thinking it over, I pulled out my phone and sent a message. "Dad, do you have an illegitimate son?" As soon as I returned to the set, my assistant came over with his phone. He looked extremely upset, as if he had swallowed 100 flies. I stopped, amused, and asked, "What did Mia post this time?" He showed me the phone. "Thank you all for your concern. I want to focus more on my work and improve my acting skills. Please don't pay attention to other matters and look forward to my new works." The picture was a sweet photo of her and Jake. My assistant's face turned green again as he said, "She has the nerve to talk about acting. It was all thanks to you." He paused and then added, "Luckily, you finally gave up on her." The filming of City of Shadows progressed smoothly. It's a spy drama, and the female lead, Lily, is an ordinary person who gets involved in a mission. Once she understands its importance, she decisively cooperates. In front of the camera, her eyes conveyed layered emotions. The retreat born from fear constantly struggled with her good intentions, which then evolved into an unyielding resolve driven by her anger towards evil. This deep internal struggle and complex emotional transition deeply moved the viewers. I couldn't help but sigh again. Comparing acting skills is indeed a futile exercise. On Mia's end, she and Jake frequently posted set photos and interactions, attracting a large number of CP fans. The previous incidents were gradually forgotten. In interviews, Mia continued to smile sweetly. Director Ethan said his female lead has talent. "Miss Mia, do you think you have talent?" She tilted her head slightly, covering her mouth as if embarrassed. "Well, why not?" Watching the interview, our whole team laughed. Meanwhile, Mia's fans celebrated, challenging Lily to a showdown through their works. This time, Lily only posted 4 words in response, "As you wish." The film took 8 months to shoot, and by the time it was scheduled for release, nearly a year had passed. During this period, Mia's fans constantly brought up the competition between the two films, generating plenty of buzz. She and Jake also frequently posted set photos, steadily growing their CP fanbase. Lily, on the other hand, stayed focused. Every time I saw her, she was either studying her script or consulting with senior actors. Finally, the movie release day arrived. Strategically planned, both films premiered on the same day. A large audience first flocked to see Mia's Rose. Reviews came in quickly. Some remained silent for a long time before tentatively asking, "Am I the only one who thinks it's bad?" The response was immediate agreement. "What kind of acting is this? The lead's face is so stiff you'd think it was AI. She didn't capture the essence of the pure white rose at all. Is this what they call a movie star?" Some stubborn CP fans defended, "What's wrong with it? The chemistry between the leads is sweet. I loved it." But even this voice was soon drowned out by criticism. Meanwhile, City of Shadows, the film everyone doubted from the start, made a comeback. The lead actress Lily portrayed innocence when facing the mafia and then displayed immense determination when taking on her mission. In the climactic scene where she sacrifices herself, her eyes turned slightly red as she declared she had no regrets. The tear that never fell vanished as she closed her eyes forever. The audience was thrilled. Prepared media accounts quickly spliced together scenes of the two actresses' performances. They titled it "The Difference in Acting Skills Between a Movie Star and a Newcomer." Lily reposted her previous forward social media post, directly responding with, "Thank you for yielding." These few words sent her new fans into a frenzy. Unquestionably, Mia was utterly defeated in this battle. She responded with one line, "I don't think I did anything wrong." The next day, rumors emerged that Jake was the son of the lead group president. The person involved didn't respond directly but instead posted photos of himself and Mia on a luxury trip, driving a fancy car. To onlookers, this was a tacit acknowledgement. Mia's crisis was quietly diverted, and CP fans affectionately started calling Jake the Crown Prince and Mia the Crown Princess. These titles were so cringe-worthy that I felt like digging a hole and disappearing. I turned to see my most talkative assistant and Lily, both looking mildly worried. Lily asked, "Is his father really the president of the league group? Are we going to be beaten just because they bring in the big guns?" I couldn't help but laugh as I reassured them. "Don't worry, I know President Lee. He's got a good temper and wouldn't do such a thing." As soon as I finished speaking, my phone rang. I walked to the corner and answered. A robust voice started yelling on the other end. "Are people blind nowadays? How do I look anything like him? You brat, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? No wonder you asked if I had an illegitimate child last time. I can't believe my good intentions were taken for granted. If I had known it would come to this, I would have put my foot down earlier." The voice was so loud it made my ears itch. I held the phone away and rubbed my ear while he continued ranting. "No way. I'm going to prove it on social media right now." I quickly stopped him. "Hey, Dad, wait. Don't rush. I have a plan." The old man was even more annoyed. "What plan? Don't you see they're starting to slander you?" I fell silent. The public opinion was intense, and those people were attacking the City of Shadows crew just to support their so-called crown prince. It seemed even a passing dog would get cursed. I softened my tone. "Don't worry, I won't let myself suffer." The old man wasn't happy. "You better not. If you can't handle it, come home. You could have just taken it easy, but you had to be a director. He muttered a few more complaints and then hung up. I looked at my phone, a smile slowly forming. Meanwhile, Mia, taking advantage of the situation, secured several more scripts and endorsements. Curious people calculated their schedules, noting that they were fully booked for the next year. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "See, I told you I chose the right person." I could almost see Mia's smug face through the screen. I replied, "The higher you climb, the harder you fall." After sending the message, I immediately blocked the number. Almost as if to spite me, as soon as I announced our new film would be a historical drama genre, Mia immediately declared she had taken on a role in a historical drama too. Lily hugged her script to her chest. She earnestly promised, "I won't let you lose. Just focus on the filming. I chose you for your talent." I paused my signing. "Don't worry about anything else." "Got it, boss." The girl smiled, waved her fists in the air, and turned to leave. True to her word, Lily devoted herself to the filming even more seriously. Yet, she still found joy in engaging with others, posting a behind-the-scenes clip. In the scattered fragments, she sat on a couch in a white plush cloak, her gaze filled with weakness and confusion. As the wind blew, her brow furrowed slightly as if endless thoughts of longing were being pulled away from her. Her almond-shaped eyes narrowed, and she raised her hand as if to grasp something. At that moment, her consciousness faded with the wind, and her hand fell after a gentle grasp at the void. In the comments, Lily's personality was completely different from her noble and cool demeanor in the clip. She didn't hide her intentions and directly tagged Mia. She wrote, "Senior, are you working hard on your filming today? Striving to match your example." Though clearly sarcastic, it was hard to fault her words. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. On Mia's end, there was no response for a long time, making her fans impatient and prompting them to urge her to respond. Eventually, some behind-the-scenes footage leaked out, but it turned out to be paparazzi shots. One moment, she said, "This place is under my protection, got it." The next moment, a traitor's bronze sword pierced the female lead's chest. Her eyes widened in anger as she shouted loudly, "How could it be you?" The caption thoughtfully responded on Mia's behalf. "Stop urging Miss Mia to release behind-the-scenes footage. She really doesn't have any. The videos she shoots need another 2 days and nights of fine-tuning before they can be seen." Everyone fell silent after watching it. They suddenly remembered the fear of Mia's stiff performance in Rose a while ago. Her fans were collectively stunned, unable to defend her. They looked at Lily's behind-the-scenes clip and then at their own lead actress, whose stiffness resembled a 1,000-year-old monster, and shrank back. People began to discuss others' death scenes, the tear that never fell, hesitant words, finally closing their eyes. Our lead's death scene, spitting blood, eyes wide open, shouting to the sky, "How could it be you? Stop, it's really embarrassing." Under the opposing team's official social media, netizens started questioning their casting choices. Mia's official account responded, "There are always a few scenes where filming gets stuck. Please don't only focus on the worst moments." Just after this announcement was posted, someone released a clip of Mia arguing with the director. Mia toyed with her red-tipped fingers and sneered, "So what if my expressions are stiff? So what if I didn't cry? Can't they fix it in post-production? If I have to do everything perfectly, what are they there for? I've always acted like this. If even Ethan could handle it, why can't you?" These few sentences revealed so much that netizens were stunned. A comment appeared, "What do you mean you've always acted like this?" I used to praise her acting. Seeing the netizens start to support me, saying I'd borne too much, I smiled and told my assistant to begin the next step. I didn't want to see this annoying person jumping around in front of me every day. All the raw video clips from her past shoots were released by various accounts. For example, the sensual bathing scene in the lake with unedited footage showing her elbows awkwardly placed like a puppet on strings. The ethereal and agile back view, which turned out to be a stand-in. Her dramatic reactions to wire work, where I, as the director, had to personally guide her step by step. The before and after comparisons made it clear what Mia truly was and how much I had done for her. As everyone realized how terrible her acting was, all the scripts she had received were withdrawn. Producers claimed they didn't have the skills to handle such a great star. Netizens began to question, if Mia is this bad, why did director Ethan still support her? With that effort, he could have made several more films. Could this be love? Remember at the award ceremony, Mia denied any relationship with director Ethan. After that, they went their separate ways. Netizens dug deeper and almost uncovered every detail of my private life. I sighed, patted my face, and once again blamed myself for being a poor judge of character. In the midst of my public humiliation, Lily posted on social media, "Everyone has a past. Let's not dwell on it." Director Ethan said he values the future more. As a victim, netizens seemed to realize something after reading her post and agreed, that's right. They started to curse Mia. "Dirty thing, stay away and protect our director Ethan. Director Ethan has nothing to do with this person, don't spread falsehoods." Mia's reputation was ruined. Her integrity was questioned, and her acting skills were inadequate. Soon, the award committee announced a review of her accolades. As a result, she lost all the honors she had gained in 3 years. At this critical moment, she changed her phone number and sent me a message. I haven't lost. It's just the entertainment industry. Once I become the daughter-in-law of the Lee family, I won't need to work. I looked at the invitation to the Lee Group's 60th anniversary gala in my hand and shook my head. Is it really like that? I doubt it. With her endorsements and scripts gone, although the company hadn't terminated her contract, Mia was essentially unemployed and almost blacklisted. She decided to drop the pretense and became an internet wife, publicly showing off her love with Jake. She posted 2 social media updates. Jake is preparing our wedding. We're about to attend the Lee Group's 60th anniversary gala. Have you ever seen such an event? Coincidentally, the Lee Group announced that this year's gala would allow some media journalists to participate. From Mia's perspective, Jake was supporting her and promoting their wedding. In the lounge, I knocked on the door before entering. The moment she saw me, Lily's face lit up, reminding me of the proud tuxedo cat I used to pet at the park. Director Ethan, it's rare for you to visit. I smiled and handed her the invitation. I happen to need a date. Miss Lily, would you be willing? Lily opened the invitation and read aloud, her tone rising with excitement. The Lee Group's 60th anniversary gala? You're going too? Yes, and there's going to be quite a show. I nodded. So, Miss Lily, before I could ask again, she placed her hand in my upturned palm. Her eyes sparkled with joy, her mouth unable to hide a smile, yet she pretended to be aloof, tilting her chin up. Then I reluctantly agreed to be your date. The gala arrived quickly. The Lee Group released a statement that they would announce an important matter at the event, revealing the identity of the president's son who had been the subject of much discussion. Mia was certain it was Jake and was extremely pleased. At the gala, as soon as Lily and I got out of the car, we ran into Mia waiting at the entrance. Her eyes widened as if she had been deeply betrayed. You. Lily, with a faint smile, placed her soft hand on my arm, her cheek close to my shoulder. She blinked at Mia. Senior Mia, why are you stopping me and my boyfriend? Boyfriend? Lily nodded naturally. Yes. Mia's expression changed multiple times as more people gathered around. She looked at us angrily. How can you do this to me? What does she have that I don't? She grabbed my arm, but I immediately pulled away. Even so, she put on a deeply wronged look, proving she still had some acting skills. At that moment, a slightly mocking voice called out, Ethan, you came too. I turned and saw Jake approaching, arm in arm with a middle-aged woman looking calm. There's no need for your concern, Lee family heir Jake, I replied with a playful smile, locking eyes with him. He blinked uncomfortably but quickly composed himself, saying, you can laugh now, but once you step inside, you'll see who the real clown is. As he spoke, he stroked his smooth chin as if twirling a non-existent mustache. I shook my head and looked at the woman beside him. She was dressed plainly, her cotton blouse faded, her pants slightly rolled up as if they had been washed countless times. Her makeup was very light, and her face showed signs of aging, with her hair disheveled and eyes darting around nervously but shining with excitement. She was undoubtedly the... Before I could speak, Jake wrapped an arm around Mia's shoulder, looking affectionate. Mia, sorry for the delay. Today is a very important day, so I brought my mother. I hope you don't mind the sudden meeting. Of course not. Mia immediately leaned against Jake, looking demure. She turned to the woman. Auntie, nice to meet you. He must have mentioned me. The woman nodded. Girlfriend, huh? Girlfriend. Then fell silent, staring ahead. The atmosphere turned awkward. Unexpectedly, Jake suddenly changed the topic loudly. I know you can't let go of Mia, but please stop pestering us. How did you even follow us here? This isn't a place for your antics. His words drew many eyes to us. Before I could retort, Lily spoke up loudly. Do you have any shame? Can't control your girlfriend, stopping us at the entrance, openly flirting with my boyfriend in front of me? Are you sick? There are so many security guards here. Before Jake could reply, Lily pulled an unwilling security guard into the fray. Brother, don't be afraid. Tell the truth. Everyone's watching. They won't do anything to you. The Lee family can't bully people in broad daylight. There's surveillance here. If they dare twist the truth, our director will back you up and bring them down. I scratched my head, feeling helpless. Was she trying to expose me? The security guard, seemingly encouraged by her words, steadied his gaze. Mr. Jake, it's indeed your girlfriend who has been harassing them. The crowd buzzed with whispers, and Jake was momentarily speechless, stammering, you, unable to form a complete sentence. I said, Jake, I advise you, if you're unsure about something, don't speak too soon. If you're uncertain, investigate and verify first, or else. Before I could finish, there was a loud slap. Jake's mother, her face full of anger, had struck Mia. I despise people like you who are unfaithful and disloyal. Please, Auntie, listen to me. It's not as they say, Mia pleaded. The scene became chaotic. Lily winked at me and said to them teasingly, you guys catch up. We're heading in. Bye. Inside, Lily was still beaming, her invisible tail practically wagging. Are you that happy? I asked, curious. Of course, she hummed. I told you I wouldn't let you lose. At such a sentimental moment, I knocked on her head. So annoying. Angry for 2 seconds, she thought this is Ethan. Forget it. She chose to forgive him. I just said you're my boyfriend. You're not angry, are you? No. I was really the best. She would love me forever and ever. Lily thought she knew me well enough, but I turned out to be the hidden gem. I was actually the son of the president of the Ethan Group. I kept it hidden so well. She worried for so long. Lily was angry for 3 seconds, then turned to see me shining under the spotlight and shamefully felt her heart flutter again. Forget it, forget it. Lily had a big heart and wouldn't hold grudges against little Ethan. She told herself, her eyes sparkling, staring unblinkingly at me. The party ended, and many reporters surrounded me, just like they had surrounded Mia a year ago. Someone asked about Mia and my relationship. I smiled politely and answered, please don't link unrelated people with me, thank you. It would trouble me greatly. After answering, I looked at her again. Why aren't you leaving? Lily saw Mia's pale face outside the crowd and smiled. So good. The bullet Mia shot at me a year ago finally returned to her. Her story with me ended here. Now, it was her turn, right? Leaving the venue, Lily still didn't let go of my hand. I didn't say anything either. Under the streetlights, we walked side by side, moving farther and farther away.